Thank you so much for joining us. You're going to hear from all of us. I'm Silvia. You've got Josephine and Alessandra, as you can also see on this slide, and dedicating an hour for yourself. And this hour is truly for you to sit back and reflect on the last 10 months, reset on where you are today, and recommit to a future vision. Before we begin, I wanted to share a little bit about ourselves and how we started. We started right here at CTEDU. We were all in the same course together, and we connected, and we have been working over a year together, almost 2 years now, and we started the EmpowerHer Coaching Collective, which is truly a dynamic and inclusive coaching collective founded by us. We all have very diverse backgrounds representing the United States and Europe. We all do very different things in our lives. And our mission is really to create this global community that brings all of these people together, fostering empowerment and guiding you to a greater sense of self-belief and personal growth. So I'm Silvia. I'm a seasoned leader in technology, branding, commerce, all things digital, holding pivotal roles at Instagram and Google. And I'm really passionate about empowering and coaching, mentoring, primarily women, and currently getting certified to be a menopause coach. Josephine, who will take you through the resetting portion of the hour, is a consultant and coach that accompanies people and organizations in their sustainable journey. Thank you, Josephine, for that. And Alessandra. So Alessandra, who will be taking you through future vision, is a professor and practicing architect. She has dedicated to supporting women and youth through transitions, balancing her career, coaching, and motherhood with grace. And I can attest, motherhood with grace with 2 small children. Oops. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So just to set the table for today, the aim is really for you to leave feeling good and reflecting on what you have accomplished. I don't know about you, but this is about the time of year where I really sit there and think like, oh my God, it's October. What have I done these last 10 months? And we start to think about all of the things we haven't done, or at least I do, and important to think about the things that you have done. Resetting and grounding yourself and where you are today, and truly recommitting or committing to goals for 2025. We want you to engage and create as much connection and community feeling within this hour, and invite you to journal and share notes and ideas in the chat. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, doesn't even have to be a journal, just something where you can like jot notes down would be great. And would love for you to chat in the group. I always find that communication is really great, but understand if you want to keep things personal as well. So are we ready? Thumbs ups. Awesome. So I talked with you a little bit about reflection. I will be taking you through an exercise to reflect on those past 10 months. Reflection is really important. Like I said, every now and then when I get to this time of year, I tend, personally speaking, I tend to think about all of the things that I haven't accomplished. And I think back like, oh my gosh, how are we even at October? It's almost the holidays. And I want to try and like cram all of these things in a couple of months. So it's really important to understand where you are and clarify like what still matters most. I'm going to ask you a few questions as we go through this visualization. Like I said earlier, I invite you to jot them down or just really think about them. There will be a little bit of time at the end of the reflect segment of the group of the time to share whether you share on your piece of paper or share in the chat. And at the end, I'm going to display some of the questions that I walked you through. So don't worry if you forgot a question and you want to go back to it. Okay. So we're going to begin. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. I know this is very weird, but I promise you it's helpful. So closing your eyes, taking a deep inhale and exhale. Please sit back comfortably in the chair. Ground your feet to the floor. Notice how you are sitting. If you feel your shoulders are close to your ears, roll and drop them back. Let your hands relax and slowly exhaling and releasing any tension you may be holding. As you settle into this relaxed state, imagine stepping into an elevator. The doors close gently behind you. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, press the button marked reflection. Feel the elevator begin its smooth descent. With each passing floor, you become more relaxed and focused. Allow your mind to drift back over the past 10 months as the elevator descends into your memories. As the doors open, you find yourself standing in front of your past self, the you from January 2024. Take a moment to really see yourself. Take in your expression, your posture, and the energy you were radiating 10 months ago. Notice what you're wearing, the details of your outfit, and how you carried yourself 10 months ago. This past self holds the thoughts, feelings, challenges of that time. Now engage in a gentle conversation with this version of you. Reflect on the significant moments that stand out from the past year. What of those moments stand out that have been both successes and challenges? Consider 3 to 5 key moments that truly shaped your year. What's one thing you wouldn't repeat? What are you most proud of? What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them? Is there something you have been procrastinating on? And why do you think that is? As you were thinking through these questions, were there any recurring patterns that you noticed? As you visualize these moments, see them like scenes in a movie, playing out in vivid detail. Notice the color, the sounds, and the emotions tied to each scene in your life. Take a few moments to fully explore these reflections. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, feeling calm and centered, ready to capture some of these notes in your journal. And if you're feeling open, in the chat. share some of these questions with you on the screen to help you as your journal. Will take about 2 to 3 minutes here. Is anybody sharing? Let me see here. Oh, wow, lots. Oh. Take a few more minutes. Ah, Maria, I love that. Maria, what are you most proud of over the last 9 to 10 months? Resiliency, did not know I had it. Thank you for sharing. Love that. Another few minutes. Lots of time zones here. Another one, most proud of is completing the ascension mindset that I gained. Rolla, what is the ascension? Ah, I was like, is that something I don't know? Congratulations.
Sorry, I'm trying to correct the typos. It seems it erased as I was writing. I completed the essential coaching program with Coach Training EDU.
Congratulations.
That I got it. Yeah, the typing is not working for me.
Oh, good. Like, what's that coaching program?
Yeah, I
yes,
tried to fix it.
that's a huge accomplishment. All righty. I don't want to interrupt if you're in your train of thought, so hopefully you can finish up. And like I said, reflection on the past 10 months, I think, is really important this time of year. And I hope you were already like able to see the good that you did. And I think from some of these chats in the group, there's a lot of positive energy around what you did. Shifting over to Josephine to take you through grounding and resetting today. Thank you all.
Thanks, Silvia, for taking us through our main accomplishments and challenges of the past months. I think it's really important to know where we're coming from to be able to craft a vision. But before knowing where we want to go, we also need to know where we are starting from. So this is why I'll take you through the reset, where we'll have a look at the different areas in your life, observing where you are today and choosing one area to focus on so that we can get a clear vision there. So we'll do this through an exercise, which is a slightly modified version of the Wheel of Life, for those who know it. And we want to analyze our situation today by looking at two different axes. So on the vertical axis, you have the intellectual versus the emotional. Well, that's the difference between the head and the heart. And on the horizontal axis, we have the inner versus the outer. So is this happening in our inner world, or are there also interactions with the outside world? And these two axes make up 4 different quadrants. And as we'll be going through each, I invite you to think about how they apply to you. I also share some guiding questions for you to reflect on, and you can write the notes during that time, but we also have some journaling time after the exercise. And of course, please feel free to share in the chat as well. So for example, if we look at the bottom left quadrant, which is the inner emotional quadrant, we can have a look at areas such as well-being and health. So how you're doing mentally and physically, your self-care. So for example, do you have a routine that works for you? And self-talk, is it rather critical or supportive? If we look at the bottom right quadrant, we have the outer emotional quadrant. So this would include relationships with close ones, such as your family, friends, or romantic partners, your social life, and any community that you are part of or want to contribute to. How satisfied are you with the quality of these relationships and interactions? If we look at the top right quadrant, we have the outer intellectual quadrant. So this includes topics such as your career or purpose, whatever is applicable to you. So for example, are you satisfied with your job and career progressions, or do you have projects or activities that you're involved in and passionate about? Also your financial health and the physical environment, such as your living space. If we look at the last quadrant, so the inner intellectual quadrant on the top left, this includes topics such as growth and personal development. Are there areas you want to explore or improve in? For example, is there a new language you want to learn, a hobby you want to start, or a personal topic of interest that you want to grow your expertise in? So now have a look at all the quadrants and how they apply to you. You can number the quadrants in terms of priority or importance from 1 to 4. And once you've done that, have a closer look at the one that you've ranked the most important. What's your connection to it? And now take a moment to notice the topic within that quadrant that shows up the most for you. Which one would you like to focus on today? Why this topic in particular? And as you think about this topic, reflect on what's going well right now. What are you doing well right now? For example, do you have a system or habits in place that support you in this topic? Once you've identified what's going well for you right now, also think about which potential barriers you can identify in terms of progressing in this area. When we look back in the past, how are your experiences impacting your current confidence here, your motivation, or would you have feelings of being stuck? And if you're feeling rather stuck, think about what it would take for you to move forward. Or if things are going well for you and want to improve this, what do you want to continue improving? Or what would give you the most energy? And once you've identified this, reflect on which strategies you can put in place to achieve this. All right, so now we can take a few minutes for you to journal and go through these questions in your own time. You can also share in the chat any insights that you have or anything that popped out for you while going through these questions.
Josephine, there is a question. I want to say
Yes.
Brooke, where the framework comes from, if you want to answer that, because I know it's yours.
Yeah, so I wanted basically for this workshop, we wanted to do something related to the Wheel of Life, but something a little bit shorter or more digestible because we don't want to put all of the topics in the same at the same time. So I was thinking, okay, how could we categorize these different areas in our lives in a, I don't know, like simple way? And yeah, I came up with this. And I think, I mean, there's surely some, let's say, also psychological studies behind it. But yeah, I think it was more, yeah, coming out of some kind of brainstorming. I mean, yeah, thanks for sharing. Yeah, well-being and health, I think, is a really important topic, and has an influence on a lot of other areas in our life as well. Yeah, self-care, also a very important topic and something that we can easily neglect in today's society. Does anyone want to share what's going well for them?
Hello, I can share. Hi. For me, It's the inner cycle, which is like 10, 10, 10, 9, 10. The part which is less, it is the relationship, because I'm too much into studying. So I'm not that good in making friends and always calling, hanging out. So it is 6, like from 10, let's say.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking how to make it work. But when you get for the isolation and working on yourself, so it's also okay somewhere.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, we have self-care and establishing boundaries as well to maintain good care.
Hey everyone, can I share?
Of course, go ahead.
Yeah. My name is Ahmed, and I'm listening to with my wife here, Huda.
Mhm.
And honestly, for myself, I think everything is stable, and I've been working on these corners of life like for the past years. So all is good, from the career purpose to self-talks. And what was really important for me, and it was critical, and it's going great too, is the relationship between me and Huda. Like, we are newly married, like it's been a year and a half now, and it is this tremble that up and down, and there's challenges, there's this kind of yeah, I need to gather myself, or I need to understand her, or I need to contain myself also when you learn your other partner and so on. So it is also doing good. I feel proud of myself. And I also like when you first asked what is going great, I said Huda, like, she is going great. She's the relationships, she's everything. Yeah. So I'm here also to share my appreciation for her. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for sharing. I love that there's a lot of love there. And
Yeah.
congrats on yeah, your relationship, and also the fact that everything is going well and you still want to progress further.
It's never everything. I think never everything is all right. There's always something. There's always a struggle. There's always a challenge, but it is the way. So, like, this is the normal. So this we are going through that. But if you stay calm in these situations, if you uh, keep yourself together, just focusing on what you have to do, even if you lose it all, like, because it happens every now and then, like, you lose it all, you feel like there's no control over what's happening. But at the end of the day, it is really important just to keep doing what you know you have to do, making it
Yeah,
just going smoother and easier.
definitely. Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna share some things on the chat as well. So I see a lot of self-care, relationship, and social life and community are going well. Volunteering is super rewarding, and what's challenging is working on career and purpose and overcoming various blocks like imposter syndrome. I hear you, Veronica. And we have Jennifer saying self-care and boundaries are big, especially at work, but also in parenting. So if I have to summarize, I'm hearing a lot of, yeah, we have to listen to ourselves, implementing more self-care and setting more boundaries, but also interact or be more in tune with others as well in terms of relationships and our social life and community. Thanks everyone for sharing and going through the reset part. We're going to wrap up now, and I hope you've enjoyed being in the present moment and that you've gained clarity on where you are today and what you like to focus on. I'll now hand over to Alessandra, who will take us through the recommit part.
Thank you very much, Josephine. All right, now we're going to concentrate on your vision for 2025 and going forward into the year ahead. It is the perfect time to do so. We are nearly at the end of October. Through the previous exercises, you've been able to take a deeper look at your present as well as your past. Now let's take a look at what you would like to concentrate on as you enter into the upcoming year. Usually we all do this on January 1st, but this year we thought it was a great opportunity to give you the chance to reflect on the strides you have made this year and see where you would like to direct your intentions for the year ahead. I'm going to take you through an exercise called the Future Self Visualization. Some of you may have heard of it before and tried it, and some of you maybe have not. I will ask you to close your eyes in a few minutes and enter into an open-minded, engaged state. You can listen all the way through the exercise before you start to write down your thoughts, or you can jot them as you go. It's completely up to you. The questions that I will ask you at the end will be on the screen, and I will give you time to reflect on them, and then we'll go into a small exercise after that. So I encourage you to just allow yourself to open to the process and see what comes up. So let's begin. I invite you now to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Stretch if you need to stretch. Just feel relaxed. Feel your feet on the floor and notice the way your body is sitting in the chair. Imagine that there is an elevator door in one of the walls right there in front of you, like in the first exercise. It appears and you get up and you walk towards the elevator. You open the door and inside there's a dial that you can move 10 years into the future with a big green button. You move the dial and you press the button. The elevator slowly goes up into the air like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It goes up into the sky and you see the clouds, the landscape, the geography all around you. As the elevator is slowly going up and up, you hear a slight hop. The elevator is coming back down now, slowly, gently, 10 years in the future. It's coming down and is going to land in front of the house where your future self lives. As the elevator lands, notice the landscape, the smell of the plants and the vegetation all around you. Notice the surroundings, all the details of what is there. Be as specific as you can in your imagination and enjoy the process. You step outside the elevator. Take a slow spin around now. As you walk slowly towards the front door, notice what the color of the paint the front door has. You gently knock on the door. The door opens and your future self is so happy to see you. And you look good. You're excited. You feel a rush of joy. Your future self welcomes you in. Come in, please, come in. Notice what the house feels like, the design, the decoration. Notice the type of clothing your future self is wearing and your style. Your future self invites you in and you sit down. You feel very welcome and comfortable. You have a look around the room, looking and noticing all the details. Your future self asks you how you're doing. Go ahead now and tell your future self. You have an opportunity to ask your future self some questions. You can ask, what is the biggest thing that I need to learn? Ask your future self, what's the biggest challenge that I am going to have to face? Ask your future self, what am I doing well? What is my present day self doing well right now? Ask your future self, what do I need to improve? Ask your future self, what message do you have for me? Ask your future self, is there a nickname or a fun name that you can call your future self? So in the future, when you want to pop back to this moment, you can quickly do so. Now go ahead and ask your future self any question that you want. Now it's time. Your future self thanks you for the visit and invites you back anytime you want. You are always welcome here. You stand up. Your future self walks you back to the door. You say goodbye. You go out and you see the elevator waiting for you. You go inside. Turn the dial back. You press the green button and the elevator slowly whirs. It goes up, up into the sky. You feel a pop and the elevator comes back down now, slowly, gently, into the room that you were sitting in this very moment. You open the door and come back. Go ahead and feel your feet on the ground now beneath you. Wiggle your toes, stretch a little bit again, and notice the way your body is sitting. Now I invite you to take a deep breath. Now please open your eyes. And when you feel ready, you can take a couple of minutes to write down your thoughts and answers to the questions that I asked you during the meditation. You'll see them now on the screen in front of you. Silvia, great, thanks. Please feel free to share any reflections about the exercise in the chat as well. And now we're going to go to the last part of the recommit section of the workshop. And I ask you to think about, based on your future vision that you have for the upcoming year, your hopes and your desires, write down key actions and strategies to move toward that future that you envisioned. So I invite you to answer the following questions in your notebooks. What has your future self accomplished? How does your future self feel about you today? Consider lessons learned from the past year and any current obstacles you may be facing, if you are facing any, and what really jumps out at you now. How will you measure your progress going through the next few months as we wrap up 2024 and as you enter into a fresh new year of 2025? What do you feel happy about? What are you proud of yourself that you've achieved that maybe you didn't think was possible, and here you are now that you've done it? How do you feel? What are you looking forward to as we go forward? And now, as we wrap up the final question, I think it's really helpful and important to write down in big letters one single action that you really feel that you can commit to. Something that you felt came out in all the exercises of reflecting on the past months of this year, resetting and stabilizing yourself in the present moment, and then how you wish to proceed from lessons that you've learned through the past months and what you'd like to take with you as you go forward. What action can you commit to? Would you like somebody to hold you accountable to that? How will you stick to this action if you face challenges? So now we have a good few minutes left for us to discuss things and write things in the chat. So we can either discuss this part of the exercise together, or you can ask or talk about anything that happened through the workshop today. And please feel free to either speak up or write things and I will read them out. So I have Josephine said, my future self told me to trust myself more and to share more of the love and warmth that I have with the world. It's very nice, Josephine. I think that if all of us did that a little bit, everything would get better around us and within ourselves. The single action is to show gratitude every day. Very nice. Maria also wrote, my single action is to commit to taking small steps towards my goal, do something every day towards the outcome. I think this is really, really helpful. And if you set up something, that's why I wanted to ask you about the action, is that it doesn't have to be a huge outcome right now. It can be a small step, and then after a week, slightly increase or improve or add something to it. And it's also really helpful to have an accountability group around you, either friends or somebody that you join weekly online that can help you through those steps. Janice wrote, thank you all so much. Okay, she's gonna go. Veronica, a calmer, wiser self, very nice in the future. Taking each day step by step and looking at what is important can work as a torch for me towards a more balanced life. Lovely. How did you all feel in the exercise when you were there with your future self? Was there something that jumped out that you felt surprised you possibly, that you weren't expecting? Would anybody like to share it with us?
I do have just a comment. This is Maria, and while you were talking about going towards the future, I was very, very excited, and I saw everything I'd never seen before. It was beautiful, it was calm, the air was fresh, the colors were bright. But then you said the elevator's going back down and opens the door and I come back to the same place and I kind of like wash me.
You
But
felt,
welcome to reality.
how did you feel when you came back into your reality?
Oh my goodness. I'm like, why did I listen to her? But it gives you the opportunity to, it gives me the opportunity to experience something that I only can vision, but when I come back, it's transformed you because you start thinking about what can I do to go back and stay.
Was there anything that jumped out at you, Maria, when you were in your future self's home?
Yes, it was so peaceful. It smelled beautiful like lavender, and the colors were so beautiful. I live in the state of Washington, so right now this season is very gloomy. So I
Oh,
wanted to stay there.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
That
so
was
much
great.
for sharing with us. Neus has said, I saw a more energized, accomplished self, bright, colorful. Coming back in the now is gray. No, Neusa. I think, I don't know, for me, the first time I did this exercise, it was really powerful because it gave me something to look forward to and work towards, and it just helped me clarify the path that I wanted to take, and I found it really helpful. And whenever I get feeling stuck or like I can't get over something, I look to that vision quite often, and it really does help alleviate the moment. So I think, and also with a nickname or something specific that can just help you trigger that experience, and it just lightens a little bit some of the weights of the everyday. Okay, so we are going to move into the close-up. Josephine will do that, and then we can have more time for discussing and talking about the exercises as you found them helpful. We have 10 more minutes before we wrap up. Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Thanks everyone for being present with us during this past hour. Your time is precious, and we hope you've enjoyed reflecting on your past 10 months with Silvia, resetting the focus to the present with myself, and recommitting to a positive outlook for the future with Alessandra. And we hope you're feeling recentered and energized and are looking forward to the upcoming months and 2025. So if you've enjoyed our workshop, please keep in touch with us for future workshops and private or group coaching. You have our contact details here, so you can find us on LinkedIn or via email. We're also planning to do a follow-up workshop in January for the implementation of your vision. So keep in touch with us and we'll let you know when we're doing this. And we'll also appreciate any feedback that you might have. So I'm going to share a survey in the chat in case you haven't seen it yet. Here. And Ariel will also send up a follow-up email with the survey as well. Thanks everyone again for participating and being present, and have a great rest of the day wherever you are.
Would anybody like to take a few moments to say anything else or share anything else, since we do have a few left?
Hey, I just have one last sentence. I honestly believe in the power of women because their influence usually is not only on their lives, it's their families at least. It's their willingness to help others. I believe it's in their genes. So There's two questions I always ask myself every day, and I think it really helps anyone who would like to help, especially that we are coaches, to close the gap between us and where we want to be, and also to increase our influence. The first question is, what I have to create today? Because whatever you create, whatever word you say, whatever content you share is always gonna touch someone's heart or mind or soul, and they will benefit from that. And the second question I ask myself is, who am I going to serve today? Because there's always a space to serve someone, and as long as you're serving people, helping them, guiding them through their lives, the impact will be just always bigger and bigger, and this way we will live in a better place. Thanks all for your time. Thanks for having me, and it was really impactful. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I also wanted, there was one comment that was just a direct message, so I'm just sharing it here, about wanting more time on some of the areas that we worked on. This is not the end. Hopefully this just helped you kickstart. And we really, this workshop could be 3 hours. So please take the time to really sit down with yourself and think about everything, the reflection, the resetting, and truly committing. And when you're committing, thinking about like what it's going to take to get there, so that by this time next year, you're feeling really hopeful and really happy about what are some of the things you did. And if you didn't do them again, like, do they still need to be on the list of things you want to do? So I would encourage you all to just keep journaling, like keep writing the things down. I wouldn't worry about it being fancy. But just wanted to address that one comment.
I think also what's so nice is that look how many people came together today from all over the world. There is a community out there for all of us, and just kind of the connectivity that I felt with all of you, seeing familiar faces and new faces, people with their comments, it's just so positive. And I think the more that we share these kind of experiences and help each other in whatever way we can. I love the comment about who can we serve today? And I think when you look beyond yourself, I think Veronica also said about her commitment to community service or to volunteering, that when we move beyond ourselves and our immediate friends and family into the larger community, it feels so good, and it feels good to help and to share. And I know that's why we set up our EmpowerHer collaborative. And we're just so pleased and thankful to have all of you, and grateful to share this hour. It was very positive experience.
Thank you, girls, for all the effort that you put today. It was very interesting and effective. And I wanted to ask if we can get on Word like the questions, so we can go inside deep and to do, if it is okay with you, to have a file of the questions or the picture of the questions, because yeah, it was a lot and we didn't have the enough time, because it takes time to go deep, if it is okay with you. And thank you.
We can share them with Ariel to make sure that you get them in the follow-up.
Yes, and also if you do fill out the Google questionnaire that we shared in the link is in the chat, and I think Ariel will also share it with you in an email. Then we can share it with you there, and that would be, yes, we'd be happy to do that. Perfect. Would anybody like to say anything else? We wish you all a lovely evening, wherever you may be, if your day is starting or coming to a close. I think we have people stretched from all over the world, from the west coast of America to the Middle East, which is really nice. Perfect. So Sylvia, Josephine, shall we call it an evening or a day?
Yep. Thank you all very much. Fill out the survey.
Yes, please. We'd love to hear your feedback, and we hope to see you again soon in our next workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.